Yeah. Alrighty, we are.
We're live.
Monday morning I am in a fog, feel like a dog, can't find my other boot. Tuesday they done cut my power off, this week, oh Lord, I'm only halfway through. I didn't Wednesday, Thursday slow, but steady by Friday night. Damn, I'm ready for the weekend. Gonna holler like a dog. I'm ready for the weekend. I'm gonna cook me a big old hog.
What's going on, everybody? How's it going? We are live here and direct from Orlando, Florida. It is the weekend kickoff show, Cruise Q&A. We are joined here with a very special guest, a good buddy of mine, none other than Brandon. Brandon, thank you so much for joining us for the show this week.
Going on, everybody? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's an absolute honor. We've met up a lot at the port, but it's good to have you finally on one of these live shows here on a Friday. We got a lot of topics to talk about. We're supposed to this originally just going to be a cruise Q&A where we just, chat, but unfortunately we have some news to get to. So Brandon, first, let's do a little introduction to the folks who don't know who you are.
My name's Brandon. I also have a YouTube channel. Brandon Barker is just my first and last name. But I've been cruising since I was about 2 years old, so the late 90s. It's about 1998. I took my first cruise, and pretty much been cruising my entire life. I'm expecting to hit cruise number 40 lifetime this year in 2022, so I'm pretty excited about that. I've already got 3 booked. But yeah, just make kind of cruise ship content, ship spotting, ship tours, vlogs, all that type of stuff, kind of like Tyler does, but... Yeah, been doing this for a while and absolutely love cruising.
Yeah, he's the original Port Canaveral ship spotting channel. Him and Justin, they're like the original people. So yeah, it's always good to have him on this show. So yeah, let's first talk about the news about the, of course, Royal Caribbean. They had canceled cruises on 3 ships, delayed this a 4th one. Yeah, so they've canceled a total of 4 ships. Then they delayed the Vision of the Seas, which we'll get to that reason why they did that. But the first one was Jewel of the Seas. The reason they did that, supposedly there was 109 crew test positive on that ship. And again, those numbers are reported by Jim Walker, so take that with a grain of salt. If you guys are familiar who Jim Walker is, he's the cruise attorney guy who likes to sue every cruise line.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy, Brandon. Me and Nathan in the chat, we have some interesting conversations about him because some of the things he puts on his website is very interesting stuff.
I don't think he's ever said anything positive about the cruise lines.
No, he hasn't.
Being somebody that's a cruise law based whatever they are, profile or website, they're pretty negative.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not like his thing. He hates every section about cruising, so it's not just one part that he's like, oh no, he's like every section: Key West, COVID, pollution. It's literally everything. It's not just one little bucket list thing like what other people, if they have like the climate control people or something, they're mad about that one subject.
Yeah,
he's mad at everything. So that's just funny that
he should work for the CDC.
There you go. CDC, if you're watching this, which hopefully you are not, but go ahead and Jim Walker.
As negative as they are.
Yeah. So secondly, we had the Serenade of the Seas. That ship was canceled, which is very interesting. Looks like it's heading off to dry dock. I don't know if it was due to COVID, because the Royal said it was like due to dry dock in the wording, so it will return after dry dock. So I wonder if they had to cancel it just due to they wanted to get a dry dock in on that ship.
Maybe. They probably had a little bit of quarantining and then mixed with a dry dock. That was the one out of Tampa, right?
Yeah, Serenade sails out of Tampa, I believe. Which is unfortunate because Royal would be losing the 2 ships out of Tampa, would be going back to 1 ship. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which, I mean, I guess it's not that bad because all the other alliance sailing out of Tampa only have 1 ship. The Norwegian has the Dawn, I believe, and then Carnival has the Pride, and then the Celebrity, I believe, Constellation. Constellation, there you go. That was the one that's sailing out of Tampa. Yeah. So, And lastly, this is the biggest one in the world, and it's probably the biggest one sailing in the world right now that was canceled, was the Symphony of the Seas. So yeah, that ship got canceled. So very unfortunate. So let me cancel until the end of this month. So I think it will resume sailings on January the 29th. So it isn't that long of a shutdown, but still a few sailings had to be curbed.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. I've from what I've been hearing, it sounds like it's mostly crew infections, which is, I wouldn't say good, but it's good that the passengers aren't getting it, I guess. But I feel like maybe taking a few weeks just to kind of quarantine everybody and just kind of get everybody clean might be a good thing.
Yeah, and lastly, the other ship that was
unfortunate. I'm getting a little worried about Independence coming up here in a couple weeks, but I think it'll be a good thing.
At least the none of the ships up here as of right now was on this list. It's all the ships down south and in Tampa, so it's only really Jewel and Symphony will sail out of Miami, and then Serenade, which is out of Tampa. So lastly, the fourth ship that was announced today was the Vision of the Seas, and that ship is not canceled because it had cases, or does have cases on board, but that's on purpose. Vision, of course, still needs to be used a little bit further as a quarantine boat, because if you notice, every morning, Vision's at Coco Cay early in the morning, and then it will head off and then come back if there's another ship. So I guess that's Royal Caribbean's way, because if you noticed, NCL had I believe Escape Today was canceled because they had cases on board. So I think Royal has found a way to get around that by just having Vision there to take off the crew who's sick, and then they can still get a perfect day there.
Yeah, Robbie is on board Escape right now. He said it's mostly crew, but yeah, they had to, which is weird. They had to cancel the private island, but I guess it's overall still Bahamas jurisdiction because they own, it's still the Bahamas, but it's kind of weird that they got turned away from a private island.
Yeah, it was weird. I know a lot of the people, MSC had this week getting turned away, and I believe also Disney, or it's one of those, I think Disney had to get turned away as well earlier in the month, I think. So speaking of the NCL, we'll talk about the NCL cancelizations. We had the NCL Pearl, which actually had to return mid-voyage because of a COVID outbreak or something like that. Not an outbreak, but a few cases on board. We also had the Sky, the Sun, the Star, the Jade, and the Pride of America, along with the Spirit that were also delayed. Which is interesting, Brandon. The Pride of America, that ship, I mean, I don't know when that thing will restart. That thing is, it's all dependent on one state, and they're very, very strict with their cruise ships.
Yep. They don't really want passengers anytime soon, which is kind of weird, but Hawaii can deal without tourism, unlike some of the Caribbean islands, so that's partially what it is, but, that's where the Pride of America was made for, and so that's really the only place I can sail.
Yeah, because it's been in Portland, Oregon now for the past, I don't know how long, but it's been at this one industrial pier, so yeah, hopefully the Pride of America can get back sailing, because this ship is, I don't know, it's not looking good for her.
Yep, and then she'll be back down to last place on the reviews for NCL ships.
Yeah, I mean,
she always gets terrible reviews just because it's, they can only staff American, workers on board, and so, Americans aren't quite as friendly and and things like that, like some of the Filipinos and all of them, they're cool with working 60 hours a week. That's normal for them, but for somebody that lives in the US, that's not something that they enjoy doing. So it's usually a little bit more poor reviews on that ship, but it is very cool.
I wonder what the hours. I wonder if they have reduced hours because they're Americans. They don't want them complaining as much. Like, the contracts aren't as long because I know like tugboats, they're 28 days on, 28 days off, just for anyone working on the boat. Doesn't matter who you are. So I wonder if the Pride of America is something like that, where they have not as long, not like 6-7 months.
Right.
But again, we're going to open the show up to Q&A now, since we got with the cruise news. Other than that, this week has been pretty uneventful. Brandon, any other thing that ran across your desk this week in the cruise news that's been pretty eventful?
Got a tiny teaser of the Icon, and we got a teaser of an announcement from Norwegian coming up on, what's the 12th? Is that Monday or Tuesday next week?
I believe it is.
But other than that, I think that's about it.
Yeah, that icon.
That's the exciting stuff, at least.
Yeah, the 12th is on a Wednesday, so Wednesday midweek announcement. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
so yeah, for the icon, that ball. Oh my goodness, what is that going to be? That's the interesting thing, because that's so many rumors going around. Because that thing is it's very interesting of a thing to go on a cruise ship.
Yeah, I have like there's literally nothing I can think of that would go in there.
All I can think of,
Like maybe it's like a little like a gyroscope or some sort of thing, like maybe like for stability. I mean it's kind of weird with it being, very, I guess, well, it's not really put together or anything like that. It's only like the keel and, the engines are put in place. So I would imagine it would go down on the bottom, and something like that would be the only thing that would make sense to be going down that far with something that size and that shape.
yeah, the thing I think of was those things, but put the motorcycles in the thing and then they get spin around.
I've seen those as well.
Yeah, so
It's also getting really dark. I had some good lighting, but it's starting to get really dark here. So
yeah, luckily I was able. I like sometime last year.
my lighting's getting pretty poor.
I upgraded the studio with this new light, which works great. But the thing is, it fell over way too many times because it's like wedged in between the cabinets, so it's gonna fall over one of these days. Luckily, it did fall over,
Gotcha.
but not on camera, so at least we don't have to deal with that. So. Again, y'all, feel free to tag us in chat at the Tyler's Show to ask a question. That helps us defer comments from questions. Again, you can go ahead and ask our panel here, me and Brandon. But first, we want to say hey to the folks in the chat. We have the first person in the chat was Nathan from Best of Boat Worlds, Anthony Simone. We also had Travel with Nick. He'll be on next week's show, hopefully, so stay tuned for that one. That's going to be a good one.
Nick, your video on the breeze was amazing, dude. That editing was some of the best I've seen.
It's
good job on that.
I think one of the best videos online, period. It's just, I mean, especially for a cruise video, absolutely amazing editing on that video.
Yeah, it was very good.
Can't wait for the rest of the series. I can tell you. I bet you the Cozumel one with the drone shots are going to be pure fire right there.
Oh yeah.
And then Mega W is also in here, and also John and Nancy from J&N Travels, and so Fordman, aka Kenneth Oakes, No Whammies, and also Sherry from Sherry Awesome Sunsets, and Nathan's here as well. So it's good to have everyone in here. And again, if you have a question, feel free to tag us in chat to ask me and Brandon a question. So we got a question here, not in the chat, but what are you looking forward about going on Independence of the Seas? Because, of course, you've seen, along with me, you've seen that ship a lot here in Canaveral. So what are you looking forward to sailing on Independence in later next month?
Really, I've always wanted to sail on her. I sailed on Freedom of the Seas when she was brand new. She was still like the world's largest cruise ship at the time. And so I was like, ooh, Independence, that'll be like the last one. It'll be like, the last of the three. And I guess it's just something, it's not a ship I've seen very often. I've got very little footage of her and all that, and I always wanted to sail on her. And so I just, she was coming to Port Canaveral. She's got the short cruises. I was like, you know what? Let's do it. And actually, we ended up originally booking my birthday cruise for August of this year. And then shortly after we got off of Mariner, we were like, Justin and I were like, let's go on in February too. So we actually are booked on Independence twice this year.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, Independence is a really great ship because the sister ship Freedom, amazing ship. So that's awesome.
Right. And of course, I got to go back to Coco Cay. That was the coolest thing. That was the best part about going on Mariner a few months ago.
Yeah, back in 2019. Yeah, 2019, and we went there. See the math, 3 times. So it's an epic island. Because it's sad Royal Caribbean doesn't have to do these cruises anymore. They used to do these cruises, which are the double dips, where they'll do a day where they do like we originally booked on the Navigator, so we had a cruise where we sailed from Miami. It was supposed to be Coco Cay, Nassau, and then a day at sea. So instead, they replaced our day at sea with Coco Cay for again. So it was Coco Cay, Nassau, and back at Coco Cay. Absolutely fantastic cruise, and if you never had the chance to experience it, it's an absolute must doing a double dip.
Yeah, it really is. It's sounds really cool. I would definitely do 2 days there.
What's unfortunate is you can't do they can't do overnights anymore. It's very unfortunate that they don't do the overnights anymore. I know that they did it like during the summer 2019, but after that they haven't done it since, and it doesn't look like they're going to bring it back anytime soon.
Yeah, I think they're sending a lot of ships there now. Almost every cruise, it seems like the ship's going to stop there. So maybe it's just they don't have the ability. They got to get ships in and out of there to make room for the next ones.
Yeah, that definitely does make sense because yeah, you see there every day. There's a ship at Coco Key, unlike other private islands in the Bahamas where there's not a ship there every day. But that in Ocean Cay looks very, very packed. Disney, there's occasionally since almost all the ships are here, the Dream, the Fantasy, and the Magic, they're getting somewhat daily traffic, but not as much as Coco Cay.
Yeah, and Disney does have that second private island that they're working on. I haven't heard that it's canceled yet, so
Yeah,
they still have that coming.
have to wait and see what Mr. Chapek says. Hopefully, I bet you the private island will make money, so I'm sure Mr. Chapek will be on board for it. So.
Yeah, Mr. Paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's what I like
once
to call
again,
him.
yeah, you're also booked on Mardi Gras. Speaking of another Canaveral ship, we see the ship almost every weekend when we're down there ship spotting. But what are you looking forward to getting on that one?
Yep.
Because you have an interesting story about Mardi Gras.
Yeah, I mean, I was originally so I booked Mardi Gras day one of the sailings opening up back in what was that 2018, I think, early 2019 maybe. But
Yeah, 2018.
But yeah, I booked like originally, and then the because the sailing or the ship was delayed in the shipyard. It's because of Costa Smeralda was delayed because she failed her first set of sea trials,
Oh.
and so that pushed Mardi Gras back, and so that put me at like the first sailing on Mardi Gras in 2020, and then of course the ship got delayed even further, and then of course the shutdowns as well. So never ended up getting to go on Mardi Gras. And then I was booked on Wonder for that week, and then my parents and my whole family is going on Mardi Gras, and so Justin's gonna end up taking his girlfriend on Wonder, and I'm gonna go with my family on Mardi Gras. So now I'm finally get to go on Mardi Gras. After all of that, I finally get to go.
That's so good. I mean, Mardi Gras. I mean, I'm looking at doing Mardi Gras one of these days. It's a stunning ship. I mean, from what Carnival it came since from
It really is. She's amazing.
from the beginning, from like the fantasy class all the way to here. It's amazing how far they came.
And it's funny to see that we like on a regular basis we'll see Carnival Elation, part of that fantasy class, right next to the Mardi Gras, to where you see that evolution where I mean Mardi Gras dwarfs everything in Carnival's fleet, but especially the fantasy class for sure. I mean it's about 2.5 times the size, I think, if my math is right. It's probably not.
Yeah. One of the things, though, I'm just impressed every time is that the Elation still puts on a good horn battle compared to her sister, the Magic. That Magic, I mean, I have a video on my last ship spotting video on the channel. The horn battle was so terrible. I mean, you couldn't even compete. It sounded like it was barely even trying.
Yeah, Magic's horn needs some work. It's pretty pitiful.
Yeah. Definitely. The cool moment was a few weekends ago because Harmony was on that Sunday night rotation. Was there when the Harmony sailed right by her. It was very cool to see the comparison. And yeah, the Harmony is a lot more wider than the Mardi Gras. Height, it's very close, but still, the width, Oasis class every day beats out Mardi Gras.
Yeah, it's funny, even to this day, 10 years later or however long the Oasis class has been out now, it still dwarfs everything that's still coming out. Every new ship, like Mardi Gras, this massive new ship, the Oasis still dwarfs that thing. It's huge compared to the Mardi Gras.
Yeah, I know, like, and other cruise lines aren't even trying to get anywhere close to the Oasis class, like NCL's new class, which I know they're trying to design to go to multiple ports, but still, it's not anything in the same size as Oasis. You also have MSC. The World Europa is big, but still not exactly the same size as Oasis. It's close, but it's still smaller than the Oasis class, so it's very interesting.
World Europa is going to hit that 200,000 ton mark, but even then, it's still going to be small compared to an Oasis class because those are around 230 at this point.
Yeah, you know what class ship I really want to see in person is the World Dream from Genting. I think those are the World Dream one, the one with the roller coaster on it. That one looks very, very interesting.
Yeah, it's a very interesting ship. I mean, there was talks of possibly scrapping it back in 2020, just because of how everything was going and all that. They didn't have the funding to keep building it. But as far as I know, it looks like progress is still moving on that ship. It should be out this year, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that one. I'm just looking forward to seeing the POV comparison between Bolt and the coaster on board. That's going to be quite the comparison, because there's already videos online of the render, but the render is nothing like the real thing, as you can see on the Bolt on Carnival.
Right.
Speaking of that, since you're selling on Mardi Gras, Brandon, how are you feeling now that for the $15, you now get 2 rides compared to the one that they originally were giving during the inaugural week?
Definitely a little bit better of a deal. That's very expensive for something that's so short. I think it was $7 when I did the go-karts on Bliss. I think that's now $15 on Norwegian for the go-karts, but go-karts last significantly longer, and it's a lot bigger of a track than, say, the go-kart or the roller coaster. I mean, the roller coaster's over and done with within a minute.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
It's kind of expensive still.
Yeah, it's very expensive. I mean, it's $15 is pretty steep. I mean, you go to Fun Spot.
Right, I'll do it once, of course.
I mean, you go to Fun Spot, though, down here in Orlando, and you can get one of their big coasters for one wrap for like $10, which is like way more thrilling and longer than that. So, I mean, I wish they did like I think some other cruise lines. I don't know if Norwegian has it, but like where you can pay for like a ticket and you can get multiple rides for like an annual pass, if you will, for like the cruise, where you could ride it multiple times. I'm fortunate Carnival.
I think Norwegian does that with the go-karts.
Yeah,
where I think you can buy the 7-day pass for like $200 and go as many times as you want for the 7 days.
That sounds like a fantastic deal. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing I wish that they would do for like Mardi Gras, or ships would have similar activities, but they have to charge for it, is that they would give you at least an annual pass where you can pay, but not annual, but for the cruise, and you can just ride as many times, not as many times, maybe limit to you, maybe like only like 10 times a day or something, but still.
Right.
Would be a great idea. Or you can only go during.
I'm going to turn on my light real quick because it got really dark really fast.
Sounds good.
I'll be back in a second.
Alrighty. By the way, guys, when Brandon is turning on his light, again, if you want to ask any questions, go ahead and tag us in chat at The Tyler Show to ask your question here on the panel. Of course, Brandon has plenty of years of cruising experience. I think combined we have over like 50 cruises, because he's almost at 40. And of course, I'm at 11. So again, feel free to go ahead and ask your question by tagging us in chat at, again, that is at The Tyler Show. So Brandon is back now. So again, another interesting thing is that speaking of Mardi Gras and other ships, is that there's brand new ships coming to Port Canaveral in 2022. Some of these ships are just, I mean, the lineup is stunning. I mean, we have just on the top of the head, we have the Wonder of the Seas. We have the Carnival Mardi Gras, which is still being here. We're also going to be having the Disney Wish and the Prima. I mean, that's a stellar lineup, if I say so myself. I think, Brandon, you are muted, or we can't hear you.
Oh, I'm good.
Now you're back.
Can't tell you how many times I mute my mic and have no idea.
Yeah, that happens way too many times for me.
But yeah, it's gonna be a really good end of the year for us in Port Canaveral. There's a lot of ships coming in.
Yeah, I mean, we're also getting the American Victory or American something. It's a smaller ship. It's a small coastal ship, but it's really cool. It's coming around in the next few months.
Yeah, it'll be a cool ship, and my cat's deciding to be on the stream now.
Yeah, luckily none of my cats are.
But yeah, it'll be cool.
Definitely, for sure. We're also getting the Queen Victoria, which is unfortunate. It's coming in on a Thursday because, well, unfortunately, we both have work and other stuff, so it's very unfortunate. But
right, that'd be cool to see, though.
Definitely, 100%. Hopefully, someone will who films cruise ships there in Canaveral will end up going there to film it. So hopefully, someone does. But
right, it's not often we get Cunard here in the States, especially Port Canaveral.
I believe later this year, at the end of the year, we're also getting Holland America. They're calling on with one of their ships, but it was only, I forget what day it was. It was on a Snowbird cruise, so it's still another port call. But still great to see other lines coming over here to Canaveral. Hopefully this is a trend, and hopefully we can see a whole lot more new ships coming. Hopefully MSC will one day bless us with a brand new ship instead of the Divina, because it's very unfortunate. We're having the Mega Vilio now, which we're not complaining. Beautiful ship, but however, beginning in the summer, we're going to get the Divina again, which Divina's not that bad of a ship, but it's no Megarelia.
Right, she's not one of the new ones, but she's a nice ship, decent size, but not some of their new classes.
And I also believe, speaking of ship spotting at Port Canaveral, we also get the Carnival Liberty back, which is good to see that we're getting a ship doing Monday and Friday for Carnival, because as of right now with the Magic, because I think the Magic is leaving in the summer, not sure, but as of right now, the Carnival Liberty is coming back doing Monday and Friday, which is great to have 3 ships on Monday and Friday, because as of right now, it's only Disney and Independence, which is pretty boring after a while. So,
right, yeah, it's I think Liberty starts up in February, and I think Magic is heading to New York for the summer.
Yeah, I know last year she was supposed to sail out in Norfolk, so it would make sense that she's heading back up there to fulfill last year's lost season. Nick has a question. He says, do y'all plan to sail the Primo when she's here in Canaveral?
I would like to. I think my grandparents are on the week before Christmas, but I think I'd like to. I want to try out the solo cabin if they were a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing.
But yes, I'd like to sail on Prima.
Yeah, 100% same here. Prima looks like an absolute stunning ship. Just that the price is a little bit high for its inaugural. Same with the Wish. The Wish, I say Disney. I'll be on Disney if the prices were the same prices compared to like Royal. I mean, you can't compare to Carnival prices, but at least around Royal prices. I understand why Disney's so high, because you have all the IP and everything. Plus, Mr. Paycheck has to get some money, so they have to raise some money.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking 3 days on the Wish, and the cheapest interior cabin was still more than my 7-day cruise on Wonder of the Seas.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Just unbelievably crazy, the pricing on Disney. One of my jokes going, Grandma, she was like, oh, I want to go on a Disney cruise. And I'm like, okay, sweet. So you're going to pay? She goes, oh, no. Because, yeah, you got to take it.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool. I sailed on Magic and Wonder when they were brand new, like in 98, but that was it. I haven't been on Disney since.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely on the cruise bucket list. If maybe the YouTube people will go ahead and grace the ad revenue for the month, maybe we'll go do the group cruise on the Disney. How about that?
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
There you go. So, yeah, I mean, again, if you have any questions, feel free to tag us in chat. We're going to be hanging out here right until around 6:30. Then we both have to hop off for dinner and other stuff. So, again, you can go ahead and also let us know how you like the new format of video. Of course, we're doing something new. We're having a guest on the show, one of my good Port Canaveral buddies, Brandon. So, speaking of that, Brandon, thoughts on Epidemic sound? I gotta talk about this one because you paid for it recently. What is your thoughts on there? I know this is a little off topic, but I used to pay for it, but overall, I just thought for what I do for video, it's a little bit expensive. So, what's your overall thoughts on that?
I just have like the cheapest, like the personal subscription for it, but it's a good music service if you're making videos and stuff like that. It's good for creators. If you're just somebody that is, making a random video and things like that, I wouldn't recommend it. But like if you're like a true YouTube content creator, I think it's a pretty good deal. I mean, it's about $100, but it gets you through a whole 12 months. So I mean, $100 for free music that's never going to get you copyright claims and stuff like that. It's a pretty good deal.
I use another service. I was bringing this up because I use another service, and I have to deal with the copyright claims. They dismiss it immediately. You just copy and paste the things, they dismiss the claim immediately. But yeah, you do have to deal with the claims, which I guess one of the good things about Epidemic was they never had to deal with the copyright claims, so it was nice.
Right. Yeah, it's a good service.
That's for sure. We have a question here in the chat from Nathan at Best of Boat Worlds. He says, Tyler, here's a question for you. Would you rather go on a ton of cruises and one mini cruise a year, or a ton of mini cruises and one long cruise a year? So, interesting question right there. He's basically asking if you would like to do a bunch of a lot of longer cruises, 7-night cruises, and then only go on one mini cruise, like a 5-night once a year, or a ton of mini cruises and one long cruise a year. So I would have to answer that one. I would go ahead and say I would like to do a bunch of longer cruises. Ooh, that's a tough one. I have to do a bunch of mini cruises.
Yeah, it's a tough one for me because I'm actually in this situation where I got to figure out which one I want to start doing. Because like I said, I'm booked on Independence twice this year, and they're both 3-day cruises. And technically, I'm only using 1 day of vacation, and actually, I'm using just one of my personal holidays on this one coming up in February. So I'm not even using a true vacation day for that cruise. So I still have 3 full weeks per year of vacation time to use on cruises. I'm trying to figure out whether or not I should do a couple quick ones, and then I'll probably do 2 week-long cruises, and then a few short ones here and there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because if you do the mini cruises, you have more vacation times to do other longer cruises. Or in the case of the question, it would be you can do more ships compared to if you do a longer cruise. You're only limited to so many ships, because versus if you do a mini cruise, you can do a lot more ships, like staying at different ports. Like you can do the Margarita Paradise, or you can do the ships staying out of Tampa for the short cruises, compared to if you're doing a longer cruises, you're kind of limited to the ships that are only doing 7 nights.
Right, because I want to try out Freedom of the Seas again now that she's got all her upgrades. So I think I'm gonna try to go on her over the summer maybe, and I'd also like to do Carnival Conquest or something short out of Miami for Carnival as well.
Yeah, I mean Carnival.
Also, my camera's about to die, so if I drop off, I'm still here audio wise, but my battery's dead.
Sounds good. So yeah, again, if we lose Brandon, speaking of that, Sherry has a question. He says, Brandon, what is your channel? By the way, we have his channel linked in the description, so go ahead and click it there. I tried to put it in the pinned comment, but the YouTube hasn't been working on the Apple computer. So
yeah, just my first and last name, Brandon Barker. It's usually the top thing that comes up.
Yep. Yeah. Unless you type Brandon Bayer or something, and then it shows up as a baseball player. So don't type that in. So I've done that too many times. But there you go.
And
y'all.
I dropped off.
It's all good. Again, if you guys are on the right of your screen, that is Brandon still. He's still here. He has not just left. So just know that. So
yeah, camera died. I can't find my charger for it.
It's all good. We all have been through these technical difficulties. It's not fun in the least bit. Not at all.
Enjoy the Independence.
Yes, a beautiful shot of the Independence with the sunset glow. I tell you, ship spotting at sunset's the best time of the year. I love winter sailways. They're just stunning.
It is, except when it gets dark.
Yep. But yeah, that's definitely true. Because we were here last weekend, and with the Mega Aurelia, it likely left early, but it did still leave at dark, which is very unfortunate because it was so dark. The footage actually I shot it's decent because I had to switch to the new professional camera right here. But yeah, this other camera I have, which I shoot most of my videos on because it has a crazy good telephoto zoom, footage was terrible. So that is the trick question of the day. Speaking of that, Brandon, what are you looking forward to with your content in the channel? Any big plans for big videos or anything?
No major projects at the moment. I'm hoping to pick back up on some of the cruise news content a little bit here and there, especially as things start to pick up with all the new ships coming out. But I do have, the 3 cruises booked this year, 2 on Indy and 1 on Mardi Gras. I'm going to have ship tours, vlogs. I usually have multiple videos, as far as vlogs per day on the cruises. Reviews of the ships, the ship tours, like I said, and that's about it. But no major projects in the works at the moment.
Yep. As of right now, I'm aiming for 2 major projects this year, and that's my goal. Last year, I did technically 1 or 2. It was those Port Canaveral tour videos, which are very hard to produce. So my goal this year is to do 2 of those once a quarter. So, but I guess mentioned the ships. What I'm amazed is I haven't done yet a full ship tour video yet because they're so hard to just overall film and edit because you just walk around so much. And the hardest part is probably editing them because it's a good 30-minute video, so it takes forever to render and all this stuff.
Yeah, I'm usually beat after I do a ship tour because I walk basically I start at the top, like all the way in the front of the ships, and I'll just zigzag my way all the way down to the bottom level. I'll skip all the cabin levels, of course, but even then, you're still walking the entire length of the ship for 6 or 7 decks.
Yeah, it's pretty tiring, that's for sure. I mean, I'm amazed people. I can't imagine people who do this, where they do it all in one take, where they don't cut the camera and they walk all the way in one take, the whole ship. Don't know how they do it.
Oh yeah, I couldn't do that.
And the thing is, it sounds like they're doing it with commentary too, where the whole thing is commentated with no cuts, and you can hear them talking the whole time, and it sounds very professional too. So that's like, don't know how people do that when they do the ship tours like that.
Yeah, that's very crazy.
Yeah, ship tours are probably the hardest videos to produce, just overall, because it takes so long to cover the whole ship. Especially their big ship. It's maybe like the Elation or something. It's not as hard, but still, you get one of those big ships, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hard.
It's always worth it though. It always comes out to be a really good video, and at least on my channel, the ship tours tend to be some of the best performing videos as well. So
yeah,
I enjoy doing it for sure, but they do take a lot out of you to do.
Yeah, I have noticed that. It is a trend though, that if you do a ship tour video, it's definitely going to perform phenomenally, because the algorithm just loves those types of videos.
Right. People want to see the ship.
Ship spotting videos perform decently, but not as good as like on ship videos, which is very interesting.
Yeah, they're good fillers until you get to the cruise vlogs.
Yep, definitely. Especially when there's a lull of cruising. Even if the cruiser stops sailing again, there's still going to be sailaways. So at least there's those to still film. So that's the good thing, is that if anything happens, there's still going to be ships sailing from most of these ports. Like last year, 2020, right. I filmed. There was only Disney here, so it's very boring to film. But still, I mean, you was able to get some cruise content into the channel, not just have to do some other stuff. Like I had a SeaWorld video blow up. I had over 30,000 views, and I don't vlog the theme parks. I did like 2 videos, and of course the most video on my channel is a SeaWorld video, which is kind of ironic.
Yeah, that is funny.
But again, y'all, if you have any questions, feel free to tag us in chat. That is at the Tyler Show, to ask any of our questions for our panel here today. Speaking of that, Brandon, so one of the things I have to ask is, how do you break up the vlogs? For us creators know, some people do break up the day into parts. Are you the guy who typically breaks up your videos into morning and then the evening, or are you just, depends how much footage you have? Is that how you decide, or you just decide, you know what, I'm gonna cut it into 2 parts automatically, even if I don't have that much footage for the evening?
I usually have a general idea of how many parts I'm going to have, split it up into different things. But typically, I'll usually try to aim, once I hit about that 11 to 12 minute mark on a video, I'll usually split it at that point. Because I know myself, I don't like watching overly long videos. If there's a video that's over 20 minutes, I probably won't watch it.
Yeah.
Unless I just have like a lot of free time. But, to me, like a good 10-minute video has always been my sweet spot. So that's usually what I aim for in a video.
Yep. The way I was making decisions when I did the cruise vlogs was, I would split it up into 2 parts no matter what, because I just wanted to drag the videos. So, but going forwards, not
right.
sure what I'm
I usually have a general idea.
Yeah, I'm going forward. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with the cruise content. Not sure if I'm going to mash up onto one extra video and then do one vlog video, and then the rest of them have individualized videos of the ship, like a ship tour or something like that. Still figuring out my content strategy when I get on the cruise, hopefully next year.
Right. Yeah, do you have any cruises this year?
As of right now, none of them booked, but probably going to be booking the Wonder, because we have the cruise cry, which is inspiring in April. So we're looking at doing Wonder. The problem is it's so expensive. For a junior suite, it's very expensive compared to pre-pandemic. I mean, just for Wonder. Wonder itself is of course expensive because it's the newest ship, but still, just the Oasis class are just expensive. So,
yeah, we had when Justin and I were supposed to go, I think he upgraded to a balcony, but we originally had a interior promenade view, and that was $1,000 each of us.
Wow. Yeah, I mean
it was not cheap.
Yeah, that's the thing now. These ships are now very expensive. Like, if you look at the Mardi Gras, it's still pretty expensive. I mean, compared to the rest of the Carnival fleet. So, I think I wonder is
Carnival's prices are a little higher than they usually are.
I know, it's very shocking. Unless you're a loyalty member, the loyalty member prices that they've been sharing have been Nick's been showing me some of this stuff, and he's been getting some pretty dirt cheap cruises. I mean, crazy cheap.
Really, I'm platinum and I don't get anything.
Yeah, he's making a lot of offers, like
Like I
$50 or something. It was ridiculous. Some of the prices that people have been showing on the
oh,
Facebook
wow.
pages and stuff.
I got a good casino rate on a cruise a couple of years ago on the Breeze, but that was about it. I'm like, I don't gamble, but I'll take the casino rate.
Yeah, I know people in the community who actually haven't gambled that much. They won like a jackpot on the cruise, and they got home and they got a letter from Carnival like, "Yo, you want to come back on?" And because they wanted the jackpot, they didn't even like gamble the whole cruise. They only like played one of those slots machines, and they just pulled down the lever, randomized, and they won the jackpot. It wasn't like the big jackpot, but it was still a jackpot. And they got home, and Carnival sent them a free cruise of any choice on the balcony cabin, including free drinks and everything. So I was like, wow, that's awesome.
Right, that's crazy.
Also popping in the chat, we have CME Traveling. Thank you so much for stopping in. And Nathan asked, he says, this is his comment. He says, you think Disney cruise pricing is expensive? Look at American Cruise Line prices, and you'll think Disney is cheap. Yeah. You ever seen American Cruise Line before? You ever heard of them before, Brandon?
Yeah, actually, my grandparents are booked on them. They're going on a cruise up like through the Northwest, so like through Seattle, like that area of Washington. They're going on like a little river cruise through there. I think it's later on in the year.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, but the thing though is their cruises are so expensive. I think me and Nathan was showing. We're looking at cruises. There's one cruise on the website. It's like a 28-day cruise or 21 or something. They want for just a normal balcony cabin. You want to guess the price for one person?
Probably 5,000.
5,000? No, $15,000.
15. Holy crap!
And it doesn't include your airfare, and it doesn't include some things. So I don't think it doesn't include tips. They include certain things, but it doesn't include or drinks. It's not open bar. It is for $15,000. I could probably go on Royal Caribbean and get probably one of the Mac Daddy suites.
Right. Yeah, I like more of the prices that Nick has in the chat here. The $10 on 7 nights on the Vista.
Yeah, that's
I'd be booking that pretty much instantly and going.
Yeah, that's one of those cruises you book and you just book it because it's dirt cheap. Even if you've been on the ship 100 times, it's one of those cruises, you just hop on because it's crazy good deal.
Yep, I'm ready for Vista to come to Canaveral too. That'll be a good ship.
Yeah, and
I'll probably sail in her when she gets here.
And she's not doing 7-night cruises too, so she's doing I think 5, 4, or 6, something like that. She's not doing the longer night rotation, which is great to see because. Yeah, Vista, I mean, it's out of all the Vista class ships, I was always wondering why we never got a Vista class ship at Canaveral, but it was great to see that we're getting the Vista, so I'm looking forward to seeing that ship.
Yeah, I think she's doing like 1 5-night cruise, but overall I think she's going to average like a 6 and 8 night cruise. She's replacing the Magic is what it is.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so that's great. I can't wait to see the Vista here in Canaveral. That's a stunning ship. Because you've sailed Vista, right, before, or you sailed Horizon?
I sailed both. I was on the Vista when she was brand new in 2016, and then I did Horizon back in 2019 before the shutdown.
Yeah, that class of ships looks very nice. It's like the Carnival Breeze is another ship it's one of my favorites in the Carnival fleet before Mardi Gras was here, just because of the decor. I think the decor in the Breeze is, some of their best works at that time until Mardi Gras came around. It was for that class of ship compared to the Magic.
I agree.
The Magic decor it's not bad, but it's not up to the level as the Breeze.
The Breeze is definitely my favorite atrium. I love the little like LED. I think they call it the Dreamscape on the Vista class.
Yes,
that little LED column is really really cool, and I like that concept for the atriums, but I don't like that there's no glass elevators. That's like one of the big things with Carnival ships that I think that really is kind of like not necessarily a selling point, but it's definitely like a common thing that's on their ships.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely very unfortunate that they have the missing the glass elevators. The glass elevator is like a staple on almost every cruise ship. I don't think the Oasis class does have glass elevators. So almost every ship has glass elevators. I'm very fortunate that the Horizon and the Vista class is missing out on those because those are just staple. I especially love the Radiance class. The Radiance class glass elevator is just not my favorite because it faces the ocean, so you get those beautiful shots. And because its Radiance class has that big like glass like with like the atrium, it's like on both sides they have like glass, so you get the elevator rides all the way to the top, and it's absolutely stunning.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. That's really cool.
And Nick is agreeing that Vista, Breeze's lobby is absolutely stunning. I 100% do agree. Also, the Down Under Cruisers are here. Good to have you guys in here. And yeah, good morning. So
yeah, the Breeze is definitely the best. I sailed on the Breeze in 2015, and I did a ship tour as well, early 2019 as well in the Breeze. So Breeze is definitely one of the better Carnival ships out there.
For sure. As I'm saying, like people saying, if like your first Carnival cruise, I would recommend either the Breeze, the Vista class, and then the Mardi Gras. Just overall, it's the best image going forward. You know, as your first time, you don't want to go on like the fantasy class for your first Carnival cruise.
Yeah.
So I think they're a bad time.
No discredit to the fantasy class ships, but I think if you're going to go on Carnival for the first time, you'll have a better experience. Usually, you'll get a better taste of like a true Carnival cruise on one of their newer ships.
Yeah, I agree 100% right there. That's why I'm looking at doing the Mardi Gras for the first cruise. I'm just holding off a little bit until the prices drop a little bit. Hoping because it's going to be here to 2024, so hopefully by then they'll start bringing the prices down a little bit. Not a lot. Just, I want to get one of those suites. And the suites, even on Carnival, they're not terribly expensive for like the Mac Daddy suites compared to Royal Caribbean, but they're still somewhat expensive.
Right.
And Nathan says that he's spewing off a fun fact that the Radiance class has the most glass/windows on board than any other cruise ships in the world. Yeah, for sure. The Radiance class. Brandon, have you ever sailed a Radiance class ship before?
I have not sailed on them, but I've seen several times.
They're absolutely.
I've seen a couple of them.
You have to get on to experience it. It's a different ship. It's absolutely a stunning ship. I mean, for its age, it's around the same age as Mariner, but it's just overall, it's such an ocean-facing ship. Like you can see the ocean everywhere. They have like the aft balconies on the Radiance class are some of the best out there. Just because they're literally right at the ocean, and there's no basically no blockage. Like if you go on like the Mariner or the Freedom, those classes of ships, they have basically the poles that on the back of the ship, if you see it, they're blocking the views, so it's very unfortunate. Right. But the Radiance class, though, it's very an ocean-facing design, so you can see the ocean 100% all the time. Pretty much anywhere you look, you can see the ocean.
Right.
And speaking of the Radiance class, we're going to be getting the Jewel in Canaveral, so that's coming, I believe, later this year. So that's going to be awesome to see. Just the Radiance class was actually my first cruise ship. Was on the Brilliance of the Seas, which is it's a good ship. It's just an overall a perfect ship for doing expedition cruises because it's so connecting to the ocean. And they have other features, like they have like a movie theater, which is like no other Royal Caribbean ship has a designated movie theater, which I know Carnival has the IMAX at sea, which have you ever tried, out of all your Carnival cruises, Brandon, have you ever been on the IMAX at sea?
I think so. I know like the Breeze had like a 4D movie theater. It was like they did like a short film where like the seat was moving around and stuff like that, but I don't think I've actually like done the full. Oh, the IMAX is on the Vista class. Never mind.
Okay,
but
yeah.
No, I have not done that. The Breeze has like a 4D movie theater thing though. That I did that.
Yeah, I know it's interesting Carnival with there. I think because the Horizon has this the 4D, or does it have the Thrill Theater? Or is that both? Not sure, but
no, Horizon and Vista just have the IMAX.
Okay.
Which they didn't put it on Panorama.
Yeah, it's surprising because isn't Panorama have the Sky Zone, which I haven't seen too many videos on the Sky Zone, which is very interesting.
I have not seen that. No,
yeah.
I don't think the IMAX was as profitable and as much of a success as they thought it would be. It's a really cool selling point, but I don't think people go on cruises to go to an IMAX movie.
Yeah, Brandon. Yeah, like I was saying, Brandon, I'm not gonna go book a Carnival cruise because you know what? I just want to watch Jason Bourne on the IMAX theater. You know, that's the selling point. I'm gonna book the cruise because Jason Bourne on the IMAX.
Okay, Nick said they have both the IMAX and Thrill Theater.
Okay,
I was wrong.
That makes sense. And also, Nick is asking a question. He says, does the Radiance class from Royal Caribbean have a water slide, or is it just rumor? So yeah, it does have a water slide. The water slide is not great, but it is a water slide. It's mainly meant
Very, very minimal.
Yeah, it's not anything wow. It's not like the Royal Caribbean ones you see nowadays at like Galveston or anything like that. It's very very lame. It's fun.
It's less exciting than the ones on the Conquest class, if that says anything.
Personally, do you think it's more?
Which the ones on the Conquest class are actually pretty cool.
Yeah, the one on Conquest are very, very. They're longer. It seems like than that one. That one's very low to the ground. It's not the best. I think like the ones on like the Fantasy class are sometimes even better. Like the Twister slide is even better than the one on the Vista, because the one on the Vista, the one on the Brilliance or the Radiance class, because that one is it's very small.
Right.
But also, we have Queen Beat in the chat and Cathiel. Good to have both of you in here. Queen Beat saying that I like the Thrill Theater, but not necessarily the IMAX. Yeah, again, I don't think that the IMAX is like, as a cruiser, I'm not going to be going on a ship just because it has the IMAX, because it's not like the biggest thing to do.
Right. Yeah, the Thrill Theater is pretty cool. I mean, like I said, I did that on the Breeze, and that was pretty cool. I mean, you're in there for a short amount of time. I think it's like a 20-minute short film. You know, I don't want to waste 2 hours, 2.5 hours of my day watching an IMAX movie that I could just see it back at home too.
Yeah,
that's 2.5 hours of your cruise that you could have done, you know, sitting out on deck or things like that.
I learned from that experience. I was on the Brilliance for my second time back in 2016 or something like that, and yeah, we watched a football game in the pub. I don't know why I wasted that much time at the pub, but yeah, it was no fun. Don't recommend it. Don't recommend watching football. Football, you can watch football at home. You can't go on a cruise every day. So
pubs aren't as fun when you're your age as well.
Well, it's not just that, you know. I mean, I guess maybe it's alcohol, but I mean, it's still. I mean, it's not like because it wasn't just a pub, Brandon. Right. It was the Schooner Bar. The Schooner Bar was like no TVs anyway, so it was.
Oh yeah.
They had one TV they used for like.
I'm not much of a pub person, anyways.
Yeah, you know the muster. So they have the one TV they use for the muster drill. They have hidden behind the wall, and my dad was like bothering the person to go ahead and open up the TV and turn it on to the Patriots game. So it's kind of funny.
That's funny. Yeah,
so there you go. Any final questions? We're going to start spooling down the stream in just a few moments. But first, let's go ahead and see who brought you today's show.
This live stream was made possible due to the supporters on Patreon. Patreon.com is a way to support me for exchange of extra benefits, including rare behind-the-scenes photos, Discord VIP lounge benefits, and much, much more. Again, you can become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1.99 per month. Again, go to patreon.com/The Tyler Show to learn more about becoming a Patreon member.
And we are back here. This is the final moments of the show. So if you want to go ahead, we're going to do rapid fire Q&A. So if you have some questions, again, tag us in chat at The Tyler Show. And again, some people are saying that they have missed me doing these lives. And of course, I'm coming back with the live streams. I said I wanted to bring guests on the show. We have Brandon on this week. Once again, Brandon, I appreciate you taking time out of your Friday night for joining us on the show. I really do appreciate it, buddy.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me. Anytime, man.
Yeah, and next week we have a different change of schedule, if you will. We're not coming back on here at 5:30. We're actually doing 7:30, not because I'm moving my time, you know, not trying to get into other people's time frame. We're just moving because we're having Nick on the show, and of course he's in the Galveston, so it's a different time zone. But again, next week we're going to have Nick from Travel with Nick, another great interview. He just returned from the Breeze, so we're going to be asking him questions about the Breeze. But so here we go. Here's the rapid fire Q&A. The first question comes from Travel with Nick. What is y'all's favorite ship?
Oh, that's a tough one. Like I said, I'm coming up on my 40th cruise lifetime, so that's a tough one to pick. But I would have to say Norwegian Bliss. That was partially because, you know, just the way the ship is. It had a go-kart track, it had laser tag. There was a lot of stuff to do on the ship. It was a lot of fun. And it was also a cruise that I did a 15-day Panama Canal cruise on. And so overall, that was like one of the best cruise experiences I've had just because of the cruise it was. On top of it being one of the very first sailings, I think it was like the second or third total sailing on the Bliss. So, I mean, that's definitely hands down one of my favorite ships.
Yeah, for me, it has to be the Navigator of the Seas after the refurbishment. The Navigator I'm so sad it's at the West Coast now. It's good it's at the West Coast, but it's unfortunate because the Navigator is it's a rare ship. I mean, the water slides are just worth booking just for themselves because the Aqua Coaster is fantastic. What's the Riptide? That's the one. It's an absolutely amazing water park they have on there. The pool deck itself stunning. The promenade, they added new shops and stuff like that. It's just an absolute stunning ship. So I'd have to say Navigator is my favorite ship. It's a rare ship. Like no other Royal Caribbean ship has a blaster, and none of them will ever will. At least I don't think so. Maybe the Icon will do that, but I think the Icon, they said they're going to have new ships because I think Matt from Royal Caribbean blog has been posting that they trademarked names for other water slides. So, I mean, it's
interesting.
It's a beautiful ship.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the Icon looks like. I think they ordered those ships in 2016, and still to this day we don't know what they look like.
I'm just amazed. Yeah, I'm just amazed that someone has never leaked a photo yet. I'm just amazed after all this time. At the same time, when other companies are, they're showing their designs 5 years in advance before what they do, like it's just crazy.
Yeah, like what Norwegian did was insane, where they announced the Leonardo class, I think March of 2017, and then 3 weeks later they announced like all the ships, like what they looked like.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, even like I think cruise lines should just like release like the outside shot. Like you don't have to go in detail. You can have it far enough away where you don't show too much detail of the ship, but just show like the overall design. Like you don't have to show what's on the ship. Like I think what did Norwegian did with the Prima is that they didn't show like the go-karts and stuff as in detail. It was very vague of an image,
right.
Like it had like nothing on the outside decks. But then they a few weeks later released, or a few years later or something like that, they released the photo with the go-karts, which is the go-karts itself on that ship. Oh boy, the Prima itself, the go-karts are just, I mean, booking the ship just for the go-karts. I mean, stunning.
Right, and like that was the big thing. Like whenever they first showed off the ship back in 2017, everybody was like, the top of the ship looks so bare. There's nothing on it. Like. And, of course, they weren't going to show off that it had the go-kart track and had all these crazy slides on it and stuff like that. They weren't going to show that off in 2017, because that ruins the excitement for 2022 when the ship actually comes out.
Yeah, you have to. It's one of the things with Marketing 101 I was told by someone at my school is that you have to keep the hype up. You have to keep the hype going for the years when you're waiting for it to come out. You can't spoil everything at one time. Like, here, this is everything. No.
Right.
Another reason we don't think
show it off, and then once when you're in your final few months, start hyping it up more and more and more as it starts to come out.
Yeah, that's one of the good things I like. Wow, I think Royal did that for one of their redesigns of like the Amplified program. It didn't show everything, but they showed, and then they added some surprises like Navigator. They added the drones, which was something that only Symphony had at that time. So I really do enjoy when the cruise lines throw some things in here. So. It's always a fun time. So again, we're getting to the final 2 minutes of the program, folks. Again, if you have any final questions, feel free to put those in the chat. Again, Brandon and I think we have over 50 or 49 or something cruises combined. So a lot of experience here,
Yep. I'm on 36 at the moment with 37. My 37th cruise coming up in 3 weeks.
37. So let's do the math. So if you're at 37, I'm at 11. 48. So close to 50. Close to
48.
50.
It'll be 50 at the end of March. Because I got 2 cruises coming up.
Yeah. 50 is going to be, it's a great number. How many cruises are those on Carnival? A lot of them on Carnival, or a lot of them diversify between the lines?
23 are with Carnival.
23, okay.
I'm almost at that milestone, which I was hoping to get with Mardi Gras, but couldn't fit anything in. I probably could, but I just, with Independence being in 3 weeks, and then, just a few weeks after that and having Mardi Gras, I don't know if I could justify doing a 3rd cruise within 2 months.
That's a lot of, especially like the content side, that's a lot of editing, a lot of, all that stuff. So that's
a lot of editing, and it's a lot of money too. It's nice that I make money off the YouTube videos because they like some of the cruises. I actually paid for the Independence off of the revenue that I made off of the Mariner videos. That's typically what I'll do is anything that I make off of my videos, I'll usually put right back in whether it's new content or things like that. But
Yeah, it's like the Patreon. I have a Patreon, not because I want to make money. I guess I put the money back from Patreon immediately back into the videos, buying new gear and all this stuff. So, okay, here's the rapid fire here. Last minutes of the show. Travel with Nick says, what is the craziest thing you've ever seen / experienced on a cruise ship? That's a tough one. I'm gonna have to say going through a storm on an Oasis class ship. That was probably the craziest experience. I think I've seen crazy things, but those aren't PG, so I can't share those.
I've had a couple crazy things. I had a really bad storm that we were on the Legend back in 2011. It was so bad they like closed off all like the open like top decks, and you could feel the front end, like the bow of the ship, like coming out of the water and like hitting the water again. Like you could feel the ship jolt every few seconds and every minute or so. And then we had Freedom of the Seas. Somebody actually fell overboard, and we like on the first night of the cruise, and we were like in Miami, or not in Miami, but we were pretty much all the way back to Miami, still looking for the guy like halfway through the cruise.
That's crazy.
Never found him.
Yeah, unfortunate. At least it was closer to Miami. It wasn't in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Last two questions. What cruise line or cruise ships have your favorite dining venue? Oof, that's an interesting one.
Ooh, Cucina on Carnival. That's my favorite. Cucina del Capitano. And it's actually free when I go on the Mardi Gras in a couple weeks.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
Excited for that.
That's one thing I do like about the Mardi Gras. They give away all those certain select specialty restaurants for free. Your answer, Nick,
right.
You said Cruise Line, so I assume I can mention Private Island, so I'm going to say Snack Shack, Coco K. And lastly, question.
Oh, that place is so good.
That place is the bomb. I tell everyone I meet, go to the Snack Shack. It's probably the best food on the cruise. Last question from Blaine. He says, will you, me, or Brandon be on the Vloggers group cruise in 2023? And to that, I answered TBD, or to be determined.
I had no idea that existed.
Yeah, so there's quickly before we wrap it out of here, there's the group cruise that basically has like over 30 vloggers, all of the major people, Tony, Josh, EEC. If you name the creator, they're going to be on that group cruise. So I mean, the only problem is it leaves out in New Orleans, so it's a little bit of a hike. So,
actually, I think I did hear about this. This is the Breakaway, isn't it?
This is the Breakaway.
Yeah, I heard about that. Okay, never mind. I have heard of it. I probably won't be going though. Yeah, unfortunately.
That's probably the same boat I'm in. It's just too far away. It was maybe out of Port Canaveral, maybe. But anywho, guys, thank you so much.
Sailing out of New Orleans, so it's awesome.
Yeah, I would really love to do one of those cruises when you go down the Mississippi River. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you to Brandon. Again, go check out his channel. He does awesome ship spotting videos. Again, he has lots in store for the channel with 3 cruises coming up so far on the books. Again, you want to check out his channel. Hopefully, we'll have him on the show sometime later in the year. But again, Brandon, it was absolute pleasure, as always, talking with you, buddy. And thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Again, anytime. I'm always glad to come on.
And yeah, guys, we'll be right back here very, very soon. So until the next time we're back here together again, I am Tyler, and you are watching The Tyler Show. Have a good weekend, everyone.